Introduction of Not the End of the World book summary. The world isn't doomed. Do you feel like the world is beyond saving? That climate change has ruined our future? You're not alone. Many young people believe this. But what if that belief is wrong? Hannah Ritchie's book Not the End of the World challenges this fear. The truth is, the planet is not doomed. In fact, we have more power to fix things than ever before. Believing it's too late is not just false, it's dangerous. It stops people from taking action. This video explains why we should stay hopeful. It presents real facts, solid data, and inspiring stories. The world faces big problems, but there are also real solutions. We have better technology, knowledge, and tools than ever to create a sustainable future. Becoming a climate optimist doesn't mean ignoring the issues. It means recognizing the progress we've made and the possibilities ahead. Change is happening and we can make it happen faster. Watch till the end to see how we can leave behind a healthier planet. The future isn't lost, it's in our hands. This video, including its audio and script, is protected by copyright. Unauthorized reproduction, distribution, or piracy is strictly prohibited and may result in legal action. Welcome to Nature and Environment English Book Summary, Episode 3. In this episode, we'll explore 2024 published book Not the End of the World, written by Hannah Ritchie. The full title of the book is Not the End of the World: How We Can Be the First Generation to Build a Sustainable Planet. Chapter 1 of Not the End of the World. Book Summary: Hope in Action. The author once felt overwhelmed by climate anxiety. As an environmental science student, she was constantly reminded of the planet's decline. Every lesson seemed to highlight disasters. She felt hopeless and even thought about quitting her studies. Everything changed when she discovered Hans Rosling, a Swedish statistician and doctor. His research revealed surprising facts. Many people assume the world is getting worse, but the data shows otherwise. Over time, human life has improved in many ways. Imagine a world where clean water is a rare luxury. A world where half of your children won't survive to adulthood. A world where living past 40 is unusual. For most of history, this was normal. But in the past century, things have changed dramatically. Medical advances have reduced child mortality by 90%. Electricity, once a privilege, is now nearly universal. Extreme poverty has dropped from 75% in 1820 to less than 10% today. Humanity now produces enough food to feed everyone on Earth. The key lesson? Big changes are possible. They are happening all around us. But daily news often focuses on problems, making it hard to see progress. To get the full picture, we must step back and look at long-term trends. For the author, this mindset shift changed everything. She applied it to environmental issues and saw real progress. Take renewable energy. 20 years ago, many believed wind and solar power were too expensive. Now, they are the cheapest sources of new electricity in major markets. To keep moving forward, we need a new way of thinking. Urgent optimism. Fear and doom make people feel helpless. But hope, based on real progress and clear goals, inspires action. The world has changed before. It can change again. And we can be part of that change. Chapter 2 of Not the End of the World. Book Summary. Future of Energy and Transport. Imagine stepping into a time machine and landing in the year 2050. The world looks different. Outside your window, sleek electric cars move quietly on solar-powered streets. The air is clean, no more choking smog. You ride your bike through a bustling city filled with cyclists and trams. Buildings around you are made with zero-carbon materials. Computers run on electricity from offshore wind farms. For lunch, you enjoy a plant-based burger that tastes just like meat. Your friend calls from a high-speed hydrogen train, traveling across the country. This future is possible if we act now to fight climate change. The biggest challenge? Greenhouse gas emissions. To keep global warming under control, we must transform energy, transport materials, and food systems. The shift to clean energy. The key is switching from coal, oil, and gas to clean energy sources like solar, wind, and nuclear. Everything that can be electrified, vehicles, heating, industries, must run on renewables. This shift is already happening. In the UK, coal supplied 2/3 of electricity 30 years ago. Today, it's under 2% and will be gone by 2025. Denmark, once 90% dependent on coal, is now below 10%. In South America, Chile had no solar power in 2014. Now, solar supplies 13% of its electricity. Uruguay moved from 5% wind power to nearly 50% in just 5 years. What made this possible? The cost of renewables has dropped drastically. Since 2009, solar energy costs have fallen by 89% and wind energy by 70%. Battery prices have also dropped by 98% in 30 years. In the 1990s, an electric car battery cost $1 million. Today, it's just $6,000. Clean energy doesn't require much land. Nuclear energy is the most efficient, using just 2% of the space that coal needs. Wind and solar farms can be placed on farmland or rooftops. The future of transportation. Electric vehicles, EVs, are replacing gasoline-powered cars, buses, and trucks. EV battery prices have dropped 98% since the 1990s. As a result, EV sales have skyrocketed. In 2022, 14% of global car sales were electric, up from just 2% in 2019. Norway leads the way, where nearly 90% of new cars are electric. Cities are improving public transport and urban design, making walking and cycling easier. Reducing car use leads to cleaner, healthier cities. However, car ownership is still rising worldwide. Ride-sharing services help reduce emissions while providing mobility. For long-haul transport, trucks, ships, and planes, batteries are not yet efficient. These vehicles are large and heavy, requiring massive energy storage. Hydrogen fuel cells, powered by renewables, could be the solution. However, these technologies are still expensive and under development. In the meantime, stricter fuel efficiency standards can help cut emissions. Energy and transport are not the only sectors that need change, but transforming them will bring us closer to a cleaner, greener future. Chapter 3 of Not the End of the World. Book Summary: Hidden Impact of Materials. When we talk about climate change, we often focus on energy, transport, or deforestation. But there's another major source: materials. Concrete, steel, aluminum, and plastics are vital for infrastructure, machines, and consumer goods. Yet making them releases about 15% of global industrial CO2 emissions. Concrete alone contributes 5%. One big challenge is the massive quantity needed, especially in growing economies. For example, China used more cement from 2011 to 2013 than the US did in the entire 20th century. This high demand makes it difficult to replace concrete and steel with greener alternatives like timber or bamboo at a global scale. Another problem is that CO2 isn't just released from burning fuel. It also comes from the chemical reactions needed to make these materials. In cement production, heating limestone creates calcium oxide and releases CO2. In steel making, impurities like carbon are removed from iron ore, producing CO2 as a byproduct. Some efficiency improvements are possible, but to fully eliminate emissions, we need carbon capture and storage. This means trapping CO2 during manufacturing and storing it underground or embedding it into materials like concrete. This way, CO2 stays locked away and doesn't enter the atmosphere. Beyond materials, our food systems also play a huge role in emissions. They contribute nearly a third of global greenhouse gases. Addressing both materials and food production is crucial for a sustainable future. Chapter 4 of Not the End of the World. Book Summary. Future of Food: A New Way to Eat. Food production plays a big role in climate change. Meat and dairy alone contribute about 18 to 20% of global emissions. While switching to clean energy is crucial, we must also rethink how we produce and consume food. Industrial meat production uses massive resources like feed, fertilizers, and land, leading to deforestation. It also releases harmful methane and nitrogen emissions. Animals like cows and sheep have a particularly high climate impact due to their digestion process. To produce 100 grams of protein, beef releases about 50 kilograms of CO2. Dairy products need 25 kilograms. In comparison, peas need less than 1 kilogram. The worst? Lamb, which produces a shocking 400 kilograms of CO2 per 100 grams of protein. People in wealthy nations consume nearly twice the recommended amount of protein, mostly from animal products. Cutting down on excessive meat consumption is good for both health and the planet. As urbanization increases in China and Africa, avoiding the Western trend of excessive meat consumption is key to controlling food-related emissions. Farming innovations like precision fertilization, methane capture, and better land management can help. However, the most effective way to reduce food-related emissions is to eat less beef and lamb. Thankfully, meat alternatives are growing rapidly. Protein-rich options like lupin beans, pea-based burgers, and mycoprotein-based foods offer great substitutes. Companies like Impossible Foods and Beyond Meat have created plant-based burgers that look, cook, and taste like real meat, but with 90 to 96% fewer emissions. If these products become tasty, cheap, and convenient, they could revolutionize our food system. Despite some alarming claims, such as the idea that we have only 60 or even 30 harvests left, scientists have found no evidence for such predictions. Soil conditions vary globally, and while degradation is a concern, agriculture will not suddenly collapse. Looking ahead to 2060, we can imagine a future where 10 billion people are fed sustainably. Supercrops grow in abundance, forests thrive, and people enjoy plant-based meals with meat alternatives that taste just as good. Food waste is cut in half, and smart preservation methods ensure food lasts longer. If we commit to change, we can build a food system that nourishes both people and the planet. Conclusion of Not the End of the World. Book summary. Thank you for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed the summary. We talked about hope. We talked about progress. We talked about a better future. We learned that doom is not the end. Data shows progress. Clean energy is growing fast. Solar and wind power shine bright. Countries are cutting carbon. They change how they make electricity. They change transport too. Many change food production. New ways help our earth. We know challenges are huge. We know the path is hard. Yet our power is strong. Our creativity is endless. We can build a safe world. We can fix our mistakes. We have the tools we need. The future is in our hands. The book Not the End of the World teaches us one thing. Hope is real. It is backed by facts. We are making change every day. Small steps add up. Every idea matters. Every action counts. You can help too. Remember, change starts with belief. When you see the goal, you move forward. When you dream the dream, you act. Together, we create a future that is clean and bright, a future where our earth is safe. Thank you for taking this journey with us. We encourage you to share this hope. Let your voice be heard. Let your actions inspire others. The world can change. It starts with you. Disclaimer, please check the description. Any digital copy of this content that is shared through piracy or downloaded without permission or uploaded on any online social media platform will be considered a clear violation of copyright law. Piracy is a serious offense and strict legal action will be taken against it. Additionally, copyright infringement may result in a strike against your YouTube channel or page, and it could even be deleted. Therefore, please do not engage in piracy or support it. This content has been created based on the references from the mentioned book. However, it may contain some unintentional errors or inconsistencies due to human or mechanical mistakes. If you notice any mistakes or inconsistencies, please accept our apologies and inform us through a comment or message. If you enjoy this book summary and wish to gain complete knowledge of the book, then please consider purchasing the book from an online or offline bookstore and reading it.